Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Sally Nugent and John Kay.
Our headlines for you today. The Prime Minister... That's right, John, because the Prime Minister is facing continuing pressure to speak about comments made by Lee Anderson, which have been criticised as Islamophobic. The former Conservative Deputy Chairman said the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, was controlled by Islamists and he lost the Tory whip when he refused to apologise. Our political correspondent, Ian Watson, reports. Well, our chief political correspondent, Henry Zeffman, joins us now. Morning, Henry. So the Prime Minister might want to focus more on this announcement about reframing the cost of HS2, but actually, is that all likely to be overshadowed today? Now, the boss of the airline Ryanair says the cost of plane tickets could increase by up to 10% this summer because of delays in delivering new aircraft. Time levels. The Association of British Insurers said ethnicity wasn't a factor in setting prices. Israel's Prime Minister says the military has presented a plan to evacuate civilians from areas of fighting in Gaza. Benjamin Netanyahu says an assault on the southern city of Rafah will go ahead. Our correspondent Jenny Hill is in Jerusalem for us now. Morning, Jenny. So what might this mean for the conflict?
It's 12 minutes past 6, Monday morning, and let's check in with Carol for the first. Now, it is a rare eating disorder that can have devastating consequences. And now a charity is warning that people living with a condition that is called ARFID are being overlooked by the NHS in England.
It stands for Avoidant Restrictive Food Intake Disorder, and calls to the charity's helpline about the issue are 7 times higher than they were 5 years ago.
The Health Service says it's vital that people with this condition receive support and that extra funding is available for eating disorder services more widely, as Abby Smitten explains. That moving piece by Abby Smitten. We're going to talk about this a little bit later in the programme. And if you've been infected by any of the issues raised in Abby's report, help...
It's 20 past 6. Let's have a look at this morning's newspapers. We're going to start with the Telegraph. If we just missed them, those lovely dogs with their raincoats and wellies on, they were fine.
So all's fine.
Yeah, exactly. A fabulous picture to share with you, though, from the Royal Mint.
Guardian this morning about another British music legend, Paul McCartney, who's spoken to a podcast called A Life in Lyrics, talking about the lyrics to his song Yesterday. You know that line, I said something wrong,
yes,
that he sings?
Yes.
There's long been speculation, what was he talking about? Well, apparently it relates back to his mum. And he remembered that he'd upset her. He'd been teasing her about her accent and that she'd been trying to sound posh and disguise her Irish accent. And she was really hurt by his comments. And that's what he was wishing he could take back. That's why he longed for Yesterday.
That is quite a momentous apology, though, to have that line in that song.
Yeah.
I'm sure she felt tons better.
Yeah. 23 minutes past 6.
Now, you might have spent your younger years hitting the dance floor, but are your clubbing days behind you, John?
Yes,
are they? I'm not sure they are. But how about if you could still party and be back in time for EastEnders and a cup of tea?
That sounds more like it. It's called Day Fever as opposed to Night Fever. It's the brainchild of filmmaker Johnny Owen and his wife, actor Vicky McClure, who've sat here on the sofa with us before. And it started with just a couple of afternoon events, but now these day discos are selling out right across the country, as Natalie Jackson can tell us.
What genius idea. Why didn't we think of that?
Well, why don't we do that?
Oh, OK.
Well, it works out
you've just said that on
perfectly
telly.
with these shifts.
It does, yeah. We'd have to do like a breakfast one, though.
Exactly, in bed by 8. Standard. It's great. Natalie Jackson with that report. I love that. It's great.
Do you stay up that late till 8 o'clock?
No, I'm just trying to sound cool. Right, it's 26 minutes past 6. Let's get the news, the weather, the travel from our teams around the UK. We're going to have a little snooze. See you in a second.